Hey guys, welcome to a pretty special edition of the Bass East Chat, and you're only going to find this guy right here tonight on BassEast.com. Our buddy Paul Mueller getting ready for his second classic. What's going on, Paul?
Hey man, what's going on? I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm hanging in there, getting ready for this Derby next week. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Out of the cold, out of the Northeast now. It's like, man, I've been in a t-shirt all day, so pretty awesome, man. We go from getting a snowstorm every 2 times a week to being in a t-shirt even in the nighttime. So it's a little different. I'm ready to get on the water, do a little fishing, and we got 3 days of practice ahead, and trying to figure out a game plan.
So I need to get a little bit of business out of the way before we get started. This video tonight is brought to all the viewers of Bass East by IMA, one of your sponsors, and I know they've got some pretty exciting news right now.
Yeah, they've reduced the price on a lot of their baits. The flit, the pin jack, the beast hunter, to name a few that are my favorite out of the lineups. Just do a lot of different types of fishing up in the north with the flit and the. I'm a cranker, so the pin jack and the beast hunter are staples for me, and I believe they're $9.99 now. Same great quality in the bait. It's still good hooks and stuff like that. So excited to that. Excited about that. Some new colors coming out too. So it's been pretty exciting. I'm hopefully going to be fishing one of the new colors if I can get onto a jerkbait bite on Hartwell, the ghost chartreuse herring color in the jerkbait. That is absolutely my favorite color that they've came out with. It's been something that I've wanted for the last couple of years, and I'm really excited about that color. It's going to be just a color that you can catch them on any type of clear water, bright sunny day conditions. It's a flat out, probably one of my favorite colors of all time in jerk baits. We've needed it in the Flit 120 for a long time, and now we got it both in the 120 and the 100. So really excited about that color.
Awesome. We think a lot of Matt over there at IMA, and definitely good products. And now they're going to be affordable for just about anybody. I mean, they're right in the wheelhouse of any good crankbait nowadays. Um,
Yeah, the pin jack and the beast hunter, pretty relatively new baits to the market. The pin jack is something you're going to fish in that 5 to 7 foot range. Both a very good, spring and fall crankbait for me. Up in the Northeast, they kind of get out of that range in the summertime, but just a great crankbait to come through grass. It deflects really well off a rock and stuff, and the beast hunter is a good crankbait too. Real good grass crankbait. It was actually designed for that Lake Biwa up in Japan, and I've used it in a lot of different situations. A little bit thicker bill, so it has a unique deflection characteristic, and you're going to fish that anywhere from 9 to 13 foot of water, depending on the line size, and it catches them, man. It's a great bait.
all right. Well, I got a list of questions here. I kind of wanted to run over with you. Your story is a little bit unique. I mean, you've come from pretty much grassroots to the World Championship of Bass Fishing, and dang near won the thing last year. Thinking back as far as you can remember, what are some of your first thoughts of bass fishing?
Oh man, fishing in general has always been a way of life. My dad took me fishing when I was real young. We had a summer house in Connecticut at that point in time, and there was a brook trout stream across the street, and he took me brook trout fishing. And that's what kind of got the bug, and basically from there on out, I begged him to go fishing wherever, whenever. It didn't really matter, and we went on all kinds of different fishing trips. And a little later on, he moved to a place in Connecticut right on the Lake Lillonona is the second largest lake in the state, and that's really where I fell in love with bass fishing, because I could just go off ashore and fish for bass. But then I got old enough to where I could get on a boat, and got my boater's safety took my boaters class and started fishing off the boat, and I was just hooked, man. I mean, just and the cool thing about it was, you know, um, I've always was competitive in school. I played sports and stuff like that, and I remember watching the Bassmasters back in the day and on TNN, man, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. It's competitive, and it always intrigued me. So it's pretty amazing. Fast forwarding to now that I'm actually going to be, competing against a lot of those guys that I watched on TV, and 2 years in a row. It's an incredible blessing, because this is the Super Bowl of bass fishing, and so hard to get there, and I'm very, very fortunate to be here a second time.
Well, looking back, I don't know if everybody knows this or not, but you also won a Coangler title at the Forest Wood Cup. Um, Even before that, what did you see that made you want to pursue this as a career? Was there any defined thing that that happened or that you saw that was like, hey, I want to do this for a living?
Man, I tell you what, I think it goes back to the competitive thing in sports. Basketball was kind of my number one sport throughout school, and then I realized that I probably wouldn't be able to do it at a professional level, and even at a D1 level, just because I stopped growing and stuff. And fishing was always something I loved to do. It was either basketball or fishing. So then I figured out you could compete and do that, and I didn't go to college. We didn't have any programs, like they do now, and there wasn't any high school fishing teams or any of that stuff. And I basically just started fishing the federation right out of high school, and did some odd and end jobs here and there. But I always wanted to fish, and then I kind of got into the co-angler thing, and was very fortunate to win that Forest Wood Cup in 2011. And that kind of changed a little bit for me. I mean, in the sense that I started guiding after that and started doing, things like YouTube videos, and it was starting to become more of, I think winning that co-angler thing was really the reality to where I could actually maybe pursue it, just because that financial stability a little bit gave me a little bit of money to move forward. And, but that was a big deal winning that co-angler thing. There's no doubt about it.
So you would probably say that the Coangler title was probably the one thing that really kicked your career into high gear.
It was something that put everything into perspective. And I tell you what, it's the to break into this industry, it's tough. It's something that's taken a lot longer than I thought it would. But it is pretty awesome, man. And it's getting better too. I mean, with the college anglers and stuff like that, there's a lot more opportunity now to succeed than there was when I was in, that age, so it's nice to see the sport growing, and man, they can just flat out catch them, there's no question of that.
So thinking back, if you could pick one piece of advice to give a young angler, what would that be?
With the opportunities now, I would say, stay in school for the most part, but also just, time on the water is a big deal. You have to put in your time. You got to love it. It's definitely, it's an expensive sport, but I think anybody, if they put their head down to it, they can make it, I mean, for me to get where I'm at, I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at without God. So that's a big deal for me. That's kind of, I'm not saying, you're going to get closer to God and he's going to make you a better bass fisherman, because, his plan is different with everybody. But, that's my formula from where I'm, why I'm here is because I owe everything to God. Everything that's happened to me, tournament wins and stuff like that is because of God's blessing, and there's hard work and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's up to the Lord, and it's been obviously it's been a part of His plan to get me where I'm at. There's so many different things you have to overcome, and so many different tournaments where it could go either way, and I've definitely needed help from above to get where I'm at.
Hang on, somebody just had to be texting me a question while I was talking to you. You know, dealing with the sport and the the capacity that I do, I know you're one of the most loyal guys out there. You know, you don't fish products that you don't believe in. You don't say you fish products and you don't believe in. Um, how important is that to you to promote what you believe in?
Oh,
You
it's
know,
huge, and I said it before I ever had a sponsor. I want to be able to use stuff that's going to help me catch fish because at the end of the day, if you use good products, it's very easy to sell those products. And I've been very fortunate, and I've been a little bit patient to get some of the companies that I've had. I've waited, and it's one of those deals where good things come to those who wait. I tell you what, man, the lineup of products that I have that I'm working with, from the boat to motor, Ranger boats, Yamaha, Dobbins rods, Rains, Gamma Line, Lose reels. There's just so many different IMA Lures, Optimum baits. There's so many different companies. Stormer. Man, I've been very blessed, and all these products help me. And honestly, like the last two classics, and then second in the classic has been on a Rains product or a Punisher jig. I won that Eastern Invitational in 2013 on the Punisher small jaw shaky jig with a Rains ring crawl. I made the classic, my first classic, flipping a Rains ring crawl, and then this year I made the classic by winning the national championship on a Rains crawl too. So it's pretty awesome to be able to use, in my opinion, the best of the best, man. Dobbins rods. It's been a dream come true. They make so many different types of rods for so many different techniques, and I've learned a lot about fishing rods from using their rods. It's just Gary he knows how to make the right rod for the right technique. And it's just something that if I want to fish a technique. He makes not just one rod for a drop shot. There might be 3 or 4 different types of rods that he makes for a certain type of drop shotting, whether it's nose hooking or Texas rigging, so on and so forth. He's got so many different rods, and it's pretty awesome to be able to work with the companies I've been working with. It's a dream come true, especially Ranger boats and Yamaha. Honestly, in my opinion, that's the best combination you can have.
so all the tackle that you carry in your boat, a lot of times you'll trick tackle out and make little subtle changes to it. But if you could pick 2 or 3 stock baits out of the package that everybody needs to have in their boat to be successful, what would they be?
Man, probably my favorite out of all of them, just being a guy from the Northeast, and a bait that really produces during all my guide trips and stuff like that would be a 4-inch Rains Fat Rock 5 Shad, the swim bait. Obviously I'm partial to it because I put it on the back of a chatterbait and set that classic record last year. But that was kind of a unique deal because I never really fished it that way on a chatterbait up until that tournament. I do now, but I usually fish it on a jig head, either a 3/8 ounce or a ½ ounce jig head, and just slow roll it on spinning tackle. Dobbins Champion Extreme 764, with braided line and Gamma Edge fluorocarbon leader, and just slow roll it on the bottom. And I do a lot of damage that way, and put a lot of people on big smallmouth back home on Candlewood Lake that way. So that's one of them. Another bait would be, for something that I could use in all situations all across the country, would be the Rains bubbling shaker, either the 4 or the 5-inch. I probably use the 5 inches a little bit more versatile. The 4-inch is kind of more of a drop shot bait. The 5-inch is my favorite shaky head bait, and also I Texas rig it drop shot a lot. So it's but you can nail weight it. You can fish it a bunch of different ways, and it's just a bait that no matter where you're at. I found it places where I never thought I'd fish it, like on the Potomac River. I find myself fishing it on a shaky head. So it's just something that just absolutely catches them. And then the third thing, I'm a jig fisherman, so man, I tell you what, whenever you're fishing in cold water situations, no matter where you are, a Punisher hair jig. In my opinion, that's the best hair jig that there is. And it's a hair jig that catches both species. Actually all 3 species: spots, smallmouth, and largemouth. We just don't have spots up by us, but it was always hard to find a jig up in the Northeast that could catch both largemouth and smallmouth. From experience, I'd have a jig that was really good on largemouth, for whatever reason, the smallies didn't prefer it as much, or vice versa. So when I discovered that Punisher, and that's what's cool about a lot of these products that I use, I've used them for years before I got on staff with the companies. So those would be three that come to mind. I mean, it's those baits are. I mean, you catch them anywhere in the country with those three baits.
All right, I got a couple more questions. I know you're tired, but I gotta ask these last couple. Anybody that hasn't visited Paul's YouTube channel, it's awesome. Um, do you
Thank
have a favorite video on your YouTube channel? And what's your number one goal in the videos?
Man, as far as the favorite video goes, I don't know. I like them all. I would say a couple that come to mind would be the jerkbait videos, part one and part two. I mean, those are old now, but and even the umbrella rig video. I think both of those videos was kind of the jerkbait one especially. I just kind of went out there and most of these videos I don't practice for them, or I don't they're not like a 2 or 3 day type of deal. I go out there one day with the intent of putting a video together, and that's why I like doing it, because it's like a tournament format. You got to produce, and that was just a really good day. Just hit it right. The water temperature was right. The fish were moving up, and I was able to really dial in a pattern that day. So that was fun. The umbrella rig video was something that that was actually the first day I've ever thrown an umbrella rig, and so you could see there was a little bit of excitement there. But I like doing all of them. I mean, the biggest thing I think with the videos is I like to teach. I think that's why I like guiding and stuff too. I like to show people and try to have somebody get something out of the video where they can learn something. That's really the goal of the videos, and I'm really excited this year to be able to go and travel to different places. Going to the different bass elite events. I think we're going to get some good videos this year. Different types of fishing, different techniques. So it's pretty exciting, and that's one of the goals of 2015 is to get some really good video and stuff, and continue that, build up that YouTube deal. Try to help as much people as I can, and some of my other goals for this year is just to do well, and just have a good first year, rookie year, and it all starts with this coming up Derby. I hope I can have a strong finish and make that third day. Make that top 25 cut. That's the goal, and hopefully get in position. I think the guys that anybody in the top 10, I think on the third day can win that tournament. I think the weights will be that tight. I don't think anybody. I mean, there might be a couple guys that could run away with it. There's certainly guys that know how to catch them there, and if they get dialed in, they'll be tough to beat. But I'm looking forward to getting out there soon and hopefully fish that third day.
Are you hoping for cold weather or warm weather next week?
Man, it's last year I was hoping for cold weather because I think it would throw the biggest curve. I'm not sure if cold weather will throw the biggest curve into this tournament. I think a lot of guys are prepared for that. I think I'd rather see stable weather, to be honest with you. I don't know if that's going to fit into my advantage or not, but I think stable weather will even it out a little bit. It'll kind of you'll see a lot more patterns emerge. I think the colder it gets, and if it's tough fishing, it's going to narrow things down. So I'm hoping to find a couple different things. Maybe a deep and a shallow pattern. But it's hard to say until I get out there and see what's what. I'm just hoping to find the right caliber of fish and try to manage them for 3 days.
All right, Paul. Well, we know you got a lot to get done over the next couple days, and I guess the countdown started, man.
Yeah, it has, man. I'm pumped. A couple days to go, and we're out there, so it's gonna be pretty fun, man. Anybody watching, you definitely want to go to bassmaster.com. They're going to be covering this whole tournament from the start to finish, and it's going to be pretty exciting, man. I had people back home last year that never watched the Bassmaster Classic, but since I was in it, they started watching it, and they said they were hooked. And Bass is doing a really good job. They're stepping it up every year, and this is going to be a very exciting classic to watch. I just hope I can fish the third day.
Absolutely, man. Well, again, we'll see you next week, and appreciate you taking the time to join us. Just want to remind everybody this Bass East Chat's been presented by IMA. Be sure and stop by and check them out. They got some great new price points on some great new lures.